Check, check, check.
You're good.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Hey, everyone.
Hello, good evening.
How are you doing?
Good.
No. Oh, look.
Okay, folks, welcome to the 2020 Space Apps Seattle location event. And my name is James Burk. I'm one of your lead organizers, along with Mike and Carolyn. I'm a former Microsoft engineer, work with the Mars Society now as the IT director, and my day job is working for Arctic Consulting. And so I'm going to take you through a few slides here. I'll be quick. I don't want to bore anybody. I just want to present some of the features of our hackathon this weekend. So let's go through these. Here's our schedule for the weekend. This is our kickoff call. We'll have a couple of keynotes tonight. We'll also be forming teams at the end of this call for anyone that is not part of a team yet. And then the main tool that we'll use, since we're a virtual event, is Slack. And I'll talk about that a little bit in a later slide. But we'll use Slack to communicate with each other, to get help with from our mentors. And then, however the teams want to use Slack, we're free to help you use private channels. You can use other tools if you want to collaborate. It's up to you. But you'll see a lot of announcements from the organizers and the mentors in Slack. Tomorrow we have a couple of Zoom calls. We'll have a wake-up call for everyone at 10 a.m. It'll be a quick call, just go over some announcements. And then we'll have another Zoom call at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, a quick sync and answer some questions, maybe have a quick speaker there. Mike Doyle will also go over the presentation format that we'll be using this weekend. That'll take a few minutes. And then on Sunday, which is the final day of the hackathon, we'll have another wake-up call at 10 a.m. And then 2 p.m. is when our closing ceremonies start, and we'll have the final presentations by all the teams. And that will probably be about a 2-hour call, maybe 3 hours, depends on how many teams we have presenting. This year, we have local judges. Even though it's a virtual event, we still will have some local judges. They will not award the awards at the end of the day on Sunday. They'll actually have about a week to turn those into the global organizing committee. But otherwise, it's the same as last year. We'll be selecting 2 nominees to go on to the global competition. Here's our challenges this year. And you're free to invent your own challenge as well. And more details on all of these are on the global website. And then we were given the go-ahead to talk about these offers from our global collaborators, all these companies that are helping out with space apps this year. So a few repeats from last year and a few new names. Amazon will be offering Amazon Web Service credits, just like last year. GoDaddy has a domain name offer, and I would definitely invite everyone to check that out, because I believe you can actually use that outside of the Space Apps event if you'd like for your personal website, for example. So definitely check out that offer. Google Cloud Platform has credits, as well as Microsoft Azure has credits. IBM Cloud Access is providing some advanced AI features that everyone can make use of. I believe there's some data sets they have as well. Then Mediomatic's Weather API is available. The Miro's team plan. So Miro is a great whiteboarding tool. I actually use that a lot. And so they're offering the team plan for everyone, which is great. I definitely invite you to check that out. And then finally, Tableau. And one other one that's not on this slide is Planet Lab. They're a company that owns a bunch of Earth observing satellites, and they have an offer as well just for this weekend for all the Space Apps hackers. So you can find more details on all these on the global website there, and you can ask questions about them in the Space Apps chat. So what's the difference between the Space Apps chat and Slack? Well, the Slack is our local one, and that's kind of the main one we'd like you to use for collaboration, for talking to us, for finding local mentors. Everybody should have gotten an email with the details on how to join that. There's a bit.ly link you can use. And there's the main URL there as well. If you have any problems getting into Slack, just shoot one of us an email, and I'll put our email addresses up again later. And you can also, we'll also do some stuff in there, like have some fun things in the random channel and some polls. But then the global organizers have also set up a chat. It uses a tool called Rocket Chat, which is kind of like the open source version of Slack. And that's where you can find more details and talk to the global collaborators. All those companies that are providing offers this weekend will have representatives in that channel called Ask a Global Collaborator. So we'll do our best to answer questions on that, but if you really want the skinny on one of those offers, that's where you should go talk to folks. You can recruit after tonight. You know, we'll have some team formation activities, but you can continue recruiting people in both of these. If you need more members of your team, we have a channel in our local Slack, and then there's also a way you can just use the general channel on the global Space Apps chat to recruit people from all over the world, and that's actually okay this year. So to form a team, if you already have a team that you've put together, you'll just need to register them. And so it's important that you register from our location page so that you're a Seattle team. So one person needs to do that. They need to go onto our location page on the global website. The URL is down at the bottom there. Register your team, and then you can add members to it. But by doing it from our location page, you're registering as a Seattle team. And then, like I mentioned, you can find team members after tonight, both in the local hacker Slack, which is the Find a Team channel, and in the global Space Apps chat, which is the general channel. So, and we'll have a team formation session tonight after all the keynotes we do tonight. We want to call out our commitment this year that Space Apps is a global safe space for all. We're committed to a culture where individuals are empowered to be authentic and feel safe and respected. And that will be the case with all the activities we do this weekend. We definitely want everyone to feel welcome and make sure that everyone's treating each other well. And so now I'm going to double check that our first speaker is in the room. Let me see here. There he is. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our first speaker tonight, and that will be Sean McClinton. And I've known Sean a couple years. It's funny, this is like the third event we're doing together now. We did an event a couple years ago at WeWork in Bellevue. Talked about Mars and exploring Mars and the economics of Mars. And then we did another event at the Mars Society Conference last year. We talked about similar stuff. So I'm happy to welcome Sean tonight. He's the head of the Seattle Space Entrepreneurs. It's a great meetup. One of the last in-person events I went to this year before the virus was his event. And it was a really good event. So, so anyway, welcome, Sean. You can go ahead and turn your video on, and love to hear what you have to say tonight.
Thanks, James. So let me, I've got a couple slides here, so let me see if I can get the screen sharing up and working here. Let's see here. Sorry, just bear with me 1 second. Okay, everybody hear me okay and see the slides?
Yeah, you're looking good.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, James. And yeah, it's first of all, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here. As James mentioned, we've gotten to know each other, I think, through a shared passion for space, and have been able to do some pretty interesting things together. So, you know, this event I'm thrilled to be a part of, and I congratulate all of you for being a part of this. And I'll talk a little bit more about why I think you're in the right place, doing the right things. So congrats to James, Mike, and the team for putting this together in obviously a challenging year for all of us. I think, what are we, 5 or 6 years running with Space Apps? So it's become a real asset for the Seattle space community. So again, thrilled to be a part of it. I'm Sean McClinton. I founded and run the Space Entrepreneurs Network here in Seattle. I was born and raised in Seattle. So a little about me. Had the space bug since probably I was a kid. And here's a little proof. This is my first grade homemade astronaut costume. So thanks, Mom, for that. That was actually the same year of the Challenger disaster, and I watched that in first grade live, probably like a lot of kids. So space, even in those days, had a profound impact on me. But it wasn't a career choice early on for me. It was something that I kind of pursued later in life. So I went to school in San Diego, majored in business, started my career in sales, marketing, and operations. And got married, started having kids. And it was around that time where I said to myself, the career path I'm in is not bringing out the best in me. There's got to be something greater out there. There's got to be a bigger challenge. I've always been someone like you where, challenges attract me. And so I went for what I thought was the grandest challenge out there. And that was to be an entrepreneur in the space segment. And I started that path by attending a conference in New Mexico, and I learned, wow, in space you can network with astronauts, you can talk about rockets, and you can just be part of some of the coolest things out there. And I really found that all the people that were working on space were really down to earth. Yes, that's a pun intended. There are lots of those in the space world. So after that experience, I decided, okay, I want to be more involved in space. I want to see if I can do more. And I was also born on April 12th, which was the day Yuri Gagarin went to space, and also the first space shuttle launch. So I figured, well, it must be destiny. So I went on to found the Space Entrepreneurs Network. We're about 1,000 members strong now. Pre-COVID, we did in-person events related to, or for people who had an interest in space, maybe looking at starting a business in space, wanted to kind of flesh out their ideas or try to grow a business or meet people of like mind. So I would encourage you, as you go through this process this weekend and you work on these grand challenges, think about what comes next. Maybe what you work on goes to NASA or solves a specific problem, but maybe you kind of get a taste of, wow, there really is potential here to do something on a broad scale that helps a lot of people. And I think you'll find, if you come to Space Entrepreneurs, you'll find like-minded people who think the same way and want to do those grand things. So this picture you see here was one of our past events. It's launching your career in space. So it was all about, okay, I want to have a career in space. What do I do? So that's us in a nutshell. Back to the point of why I think you're in the right place doing the right things. So Seattle is unique, I think, in terms of space industry, space communities, anywhere in the world. And that goes back to even 1962. So on this slide, you see on the left, maybe it's your right, the NASA Space Pavilion. So that building still stands today. It doesn't have the NASA logo on it anymore. But on the right, you see the original coloring of the Space Needle, and it's no coincidence that they named it the Space Needle, because back in 1962, if you think about the context, the very beginning of the space race, the World's Fair took place that year in Seattle, and it was really America's answer to the public perception that the United States had fallen behind technologically to the Soviet Union because the Soviet Union had launched Sputnik, and a lot of people were concerned and were wondering what America's response was going to be. So I like to think that Seattle was front and center at the very beginning of the space race. Not only that, but in the middle, you see what's actually a ticket to the second National Conference on the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space. And so the Seattle culture, even back then, people were gathering and they were trying to think thoughtfully about, what is space and how are we going to do it in such a way that benefits all of us? It's not just one-sided. And I think that's what you all are gathering to do and to think about. So I think you're in good company, and you're the next generation to carry on this great tradition. And I just wanted to share something that's personal to me about that event, that conference. And this you see here is actually a program for the event. So this is from my grandfather who attended the event. And you can see here some of the attendees. You've got Neil Armstrong, and my grandpa's scribbled notes is X-15. So that was back when he was still on the X-15 program. So you've kind of got a list of interesting attendees at that conference back in '62 as part of the World's Fair. A lot of Washington delegates and interesting people from NASA. And then this is the other side of the program, and you see John Glenn's signature, Jackie Cochran, and of course it looks like they ate pretty well, and it looked like they were in good company. So just kind of an interesting time, and doing the same thing and carrying forward today. You have kind of the new building on the old. So in Kent, Washington, here in Seattle, the lunar rover was built and tested and sent to the moon. And in fact, there are 3 rovers still on the moon, and those are now designated, historic landmarks by King County. They were built at the Boeing Space Center in Kent. And now you have, of course, the picture on the left is the Blue Origin headquarters. So right near the Boeing Space Center. So you really have an interesting mix of old and new here in the Seattle area. And so as you go through this weekend and you decide what challenges you want to work on, I would encourage you to think about what fits your skill set, what are you interested in, and what really resonates with you, because ultimately in life, we should be doing things that we care about and that fit our skill set and that we can enjoy and have fun with. This slide is courtesy of Stan Schull, Lines Velocity. If you network in the space industry, you'll more than likely come across Stan, really smart guy who worked in the early days of commercialization of the shuttle. And this slide shows most of the Washington State space companies. And what's really unique about Seattle is you have, I think, the most diverse cluster of space, particularly new space companies anywhere in the world. You have Launch with Blue Origin. You have Old Space with Aerojet Rocketdyne. They call them rockets from Redmond. A lot of the interplanetary spacecraft had propulsion from Aerojet Rocketdyne. You have the big traditional player in Boeing, who we talked about. You've got Earth observation satellites from Black Sky. You have even companies with lunar ambitions like Explore. Of course, you have SpaceX and Starlink, Amazon and Kuiper, that have all of a sudden turned Seattle into kind of the hub of telecommunications satellites. You have ground station companies, RBC Signals, AWS, Ground, and now even Microsoft has gotten into the game there. So I think what you'll find in Seattle is a fertile ecosystem combined with a rich culture and tradition around being thoughtful around space. So again, I hope you meet some interesting people if you didn't already come with the team, and you think about how what you're working on can be carried forward. You probably have to sleep a day or two before you can kind of reflect back on the meaning of this weekend for you. But lastly, I just wanted to say, hope you all have a great time. Appreciate you listening. I want to cut you free and take on those challenges and let's make life better on Earth. We all know some of the challenges we're dealing with. If you want to contact me personally, the contact information there is at the bottom of the screen. And yeah, so have a great time. Now I realize I don't know if my slides were scrolling that whole time. So that I don't know if you were able to see that. So
We saw your slides, Sean.
Okay, great. So thanks again.
Thanks a lot, Sean. I love seeing that stuff about the World's Fair back in the 60s. That is so cool.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago was the 50th anniversary of that. They had a lot of events around that in Seattle. Okay, thanks a lot, Sean. So next, I'd like to bring up our next speaker, which is Adam Johnson from Lockheed Martin. Lockheed Martin's been a partner of ours on this event for a couple years, and we're thrilled that they're back again this year. And so, Adam, welcome, and love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So, I'm Adam Johnson. I work at Lockheed Martin. I'm actually a software director at Lockheed Martin Space. So, the Lockheed Martin portfolio, which most people know a lot about, includes a lot of airplanes and various other things. But our space segment, we have a lot of interesting missions going on right now, as well as upcoming missions. And we are headquartered out of Denver. So that is actually where I am located, as well as Tom Johnson, who will be talking after me. But my overall career in space has been since I graduated college. So I actually graduated college and immediately started working at my first job, which happened to be on the International Space Station when they were still doing shuttle launches. So that being my first job, I fell in love working in the space segment, and I've never left. I've gotten to work on Orion so the future of human spaceflight, as well as the GOES weather satellites, GPS-3, and various other deep space exploration missions. So primarily, I've focused my career on the embedded flight software that actually does the command control and mission processing. And so this event is just amazing to me. This is actually my first year learning about it and attending. And I got to go through and look at all of the challenges, and it was very interesting to me. And honestly, looking through them, the one that I would pick this year personally would probably be under Confront, and it was the Spot That Fire 3.0. I thought that one was really good, especially with a lot of the circumstances in the United States right now with fires. So really interesting things. A lot of these things we actually do currently on Lockheed Martin missions, and I would suggest as you go into them, thinking of new ways. So there's that create your own challenge as well. That's really critical, is that next generation thinking and what we can do different. And I really urge everybody to push that direction. And so now I'll hand it over to Tom Johnson, also from Lockheed. He's going to go over some really interesting stuff we have going on. And so I just hand it over to you, Tom.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. So here, I'm really excited to talk about some of the exciting projects that I think really align nicely with space apps. So to give some background about myself before I jump into those, my name is Tom Johnson, as Adam mentions. I'm a program manager for some innovation projects at Lockheed Martin. And so one that I recently was heavily involved with was called SmartSat, which some of you might have heard of. And then the next project, one of them that I'm working with, is called Lajima. So talk about those and how they really relate to space apps to hopefully give some excitement behind what all the great work is and all this awesome weekend that's been planned. But I've been in the space industry for a little bit now, worked on some fun deep space missions like OSIRIS-REx and some other exciting things within Lockheed Martin. So really enjoy and passionate about space. I actually did my whole master's in bioastronautics from the University of Colorado. So really passionate about all this, and I'm very encouraged by all of the support and participation that I'm seeing out there. So to jump into the projects, SmartSat is really meant to be a modern software-defined approach to software on spacecraft assets. And the more exciting piece that I want to talk about today is the Lajima program. So that's a collaboration between Lockheed Martin and the University of Southern California to build a series of 4 satellites. So CubeSats being a 1.5U, a 3U, and 2 6U satellites that really meant to push the envelope and really push the boundaries of what can we do in space from almost a software perspective. So let's think about this from software first, because that is really what's powering the future across all industries, but really needs to power what was possible within space as well. So one thing that is really exciting about is the processing platform is a NVIDIA Jetson platform. So being able to really leverage a GPU in space, run more advanced processing, demonstrate some of the artificial intelligence, machine learning algorithms, more advanced and more processing heavy applications that we traditionally wouldn't have been able to run in space. So really trying to push the envelope and provide insight and better information to end users as opposed to massive amounts of data, being able to react faster or gain, notice insights that traditionally we would not have been able to see. So that's really exciting. I think it parallels extremely well with what everyone's doing here this weekend, because we really are looking for the bright minds out there to influence what is possible, where can we go with software in space, how do we leverage the sensors that we have out there, the processing platforms, pull all that data together and provide greater knowledge or insights that we can understand the universe better, or understand our impact on the earth better, whatever it might be. So anyways, really excited about that. I looked through many of the projects actually today, and I think there's a number of really awesome ones out there. So Adam talked a little bit about some of the projects looking at identifying fires. That's fantastic. I think there are a number of others that were really, really interesting, like watching pollution or identifying other hazards going around, natural caused on the earth. So really interesting stuff. I'm really excited. So I just want to, before I end, give a big shout out and thanks to all the people who put on this every year. This is my first year being involved. So thank you to everyone for inviting us and for putting on such an awesome weekend. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom and Adam. That was really good. I think some of those challenges are really cool as well. I wish I was coding this weekend instead of helping everyone else out, but that'll be fun too for everyone. So, okay. So then next, I want to call out our sponsor, which is AWS. AWS has been a partner of ours, or a sponsor of ours, for a couple years now, and we're really thrilled to be continuing that participation locally here in Seattle. And so thank you to AWS. And then I want to put the challenges screen up again, and just call out that I failed to mention before, there is an option to do your own challenge. The last one there meant your own, but if you do that, you will not be able to be judged. So if you want to try to participate in the global competition and the local competition, that's unfortunately not one of the challenges you can pick. You're totally welcome to do that though, and we will still help you this weekend, and you'll be a normal team just like everyone else, but you just won't be eligible for the judging and moving on to global. So what we're gonna do next, we're kind of running a little bit ahead of schedule. We're gonna go into team formation, but I wanna first ask if anybody has any questions on all the materials we've gone over tonight, or really if anyone has any questions for our keynote speakers too. We have a little bit of time, so feel free to type it in the chat window, or you could even unmute yourself right now and turn your video on and ask a question. Anyone have any questions on anything we've gone over? Okay, pretty straightforward, huh? Okay. So I'll go ahead and put up our email addresses again. And so what we'd like to do now is, if you are already in a team, if you've joined a team, if you've registered, then you're free to leave the call. And good luck this weekend. We'll see you in Slack. 10 a.m. wake up call tomorrow. I hope to see you there. But if you would still like to stay on the call and help us get you on a team, or if your team is recruiting, please stay on the call. And so what we'll do first is, for those of the teams that are recruiting people, if you want to go ahead and do a quick pitch for your team right now, we could totally entertain that. Is anyone interested in doing that? Because then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to form some breakout rooms based on what's in the challenges. Okay, any teams willing to recruit members right now that want to kind of do a quick pitch before we do breakout rooms?
Hey everyone, this is Victor Duran. Can you hear me?
Yes, Victor. Hello.
Hi. So I am actually the team lead for Kickoff Movers, and the challenge that I attach myself to is the breakthrough, so the faster than light travel. So I'm actively recruiting some people to join the team. A little bit about me. I have a background in user experience and rapid prototyping. So for any type of digital solution that I might come up with, I can use those skills. So I'm looking for someone potentially who can, depending on how high the fidelity would need to be, looking for someone who is technical at coding and those kind of skills.
Awesome. Thank you, Victor. It looks like you have one person interested already in the chat window. Cool. All right. Any other teams would like to do a quick pitch?
Yeah. Hey, my name is Marek Smolinski, and we are doing the challenge for Internet on Mars. That's actually our team name. So we're a bunch of really nice people. We'd love to have anyone that needs a team. And yeah, please join.
Internet on Mars. Tell me more about that. That's an interest of mine as well.
Yeah, so the challenge that we're doing is regarding communication between Mars and Earth and some of the challenges that are associated with that. So we're going to make a cool little application. No spoilers yet. We'll keep it a surprise for what we're doing. And yeah, we could use anyone really.
Very nice. Yeah, and I'd love to chat with you more. I've worked on similar stuff for the Mars Society. I worked on an application called Mars Chat that had a built-in delay, just like the distance between, the lag time you'd have, the latency you'd have between Earth and Mars to do a real-time chat, an IM chat. We use that at the Mars Desert Research Station in Utah. And then I'm also familiar with the whole concept of the interplanetary internet, which was developed by Vint Cerf, who also designed TCP/IP. He works at Google, so I'd love to chat more with you guys if you're interested.
Well, hey James, if you want to join our team, you're more than welcome as well.
I don't think I'm able to, but that's a tempting offer. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, any other teams interested in doing a quick pitch?
Hi guys, my name's Divya. I'm one of the team leads for the Can You Hear Me Now challenge. Our team is Team Exploration. We have a ton of experience in programming and a strong foundation in math. So we're looking for anyone who can help with that or even design. That works too. So if you want to join our team, let us know. We have 5 members currently and we're looking for a 6th.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Divya. Good luck. Anyone else? Okay, last call. Okay, so what I'd like to do now, and you see the challenge slide I have up here. What I'd like to do now is form some breakout rooms. And I'm going to put people into the breakout rooms based on what challenge they're interested in. Or if they don't know, if they can't choose, then I'll just pick one for you, basically. So what I'd like everyone to do is, if you're looking for a team, go ahead and type in the chat window which of these challenges that you're most interested in. Go ahead and just type it in the chat window. So for example, if you wanted to do sustain, just put yourself in, type in sustain, and I'll put you in a room with other people that are interested in sustain. And if you can't pick, that's fine. Okay. So we have one in form, connect. Okay, I'm gonna start setting these up. And for the volunteers and mentors that are on this call, and the keynote speakers, you can do this as well. If you want to join one of these breakout rooms, go ahead and type in what you're interested in, and then I will assign you as well. And you can also ping me back if you want to move rooms, and that goes for everyone. If you would like to get pulled out of your breakout room and put into a different one, I can totally do that. So So Victor says, my team is in Breakthrough, but I don't see it on this list. Okay. Mike, do you know, is Breakthrough one of the sub challenges here? Do you know the answer to that?
Is that your team name, Victor?
No, my team name is Chikao Movers, and the challenge category was Breakthrough.
So Nick is saying that it's under Create.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll put you in Create. Okay.
Thank you.
So we have Inform, Connect, Create. Okay. Any others that folks want to join a room for? Inform, Connect, Create. Okay, one more person for Connect, one more person for Create. So what I'm going to do, let's see, I'm going to pick Observe, because that's, you know, I think when you look at the space industry right now, satellite technology is really important for getting a career in space, as I'm sure Sean would agree, Tom and Adam would agree. That's a big thing this, you know, in this time we live in right now. So I'm going to go ahead and pick an Observe channel as well. So we'll have 4: Observe, Inform, Sustain. Sorry, Observe, Inform, Connect, and Create. Okay. So I'm going to set those up. I'm going to rename. So just bear with me 1 second. I have to rename the rooms. And I'm going to kind of put everyone that called out the one they want into the room they wanted. And we'll meet back here. Let's see, what time is it now? It's 6:37. Let's plan to meet back here at about 7:05. Okay, so I'll give you guys about half an hour to talk to each other. And again, if you want to be, if things aren't working out and you'd rather switch rooms, that's totally fine. Just message me in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to put a couple people in Inform. So, space apps. Okay. And then Connect. Create. Gene. Victor. Okay. Yep. Okay, so we're just going to do the 3 rooms then. So we have enough for 3. Okay, so everybody should be in a room now. You should get an invite. Go ahead and join the invite. Okay, so everyone that's in this room now is just an organizer, I believe. Actually, Jean, Pack, are you having trouble getting into Create, or was there a different one you wanted? Oh, he's in there now. Okay. So Isabel, Ciara, yeah, I put you in one, but feel free to stay here if you want to do that. That's fine.
I can join in form whenever someone needs support in environmental sciences.
Okay.
Happy to join any team.
Sure. You want to just pop in there now, and then I can pull you out if you.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yep.
So I went ahead and invited you.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. I'm going to stop the YouTube stream. So thank you everyone on YouTube. If you have any questions, please feel free to email one of us, or we'll find you in Slack. If you need any help, just email me, james@spaceappsseattle.org.